Hello, my name is Parker. I am the developer and creator of NovelBase, and this is a tutorial to teach you all that there is to know. Okay, so first you will have either purchased NovelBase or you have found the demo link, which is right here. I have the full version that I'm going to be using. So I'm going to download it, and it's going to give me a zip file. Then I'm going to drag that zip file over to my desktop or wherever you want to extract it to. Then I'm going to extract it. Okay, and this is what you're working with here. So you're going to want to look for the novelbase.exe, and you're going to want to double click that. When it says Windows protected your PC, you want to do more info, and you want to do run anyway. Okay, so when you start NovelBase, you'll be looking at a screen like this. This is your project select screen, so we don't have any projects yet. So I'll make one, which is called Adventures in Florida. Okay, so I created a project called Adventures in Florida. Now I'm looking at a screen, and you can see the screen text here saying New Note Submission. So I'm going to make a note, which is, my friend Larry went down to Florida to get some oranges. So what you'll notice here is that Larry is highlighted, and it has a different color, and it also has a sigil. Same with Florida. All other words are not highlighted. Okay, so I hit enter. That saves the note, and it now says viewing. So if I want to say something else, I'll say they were very good. You'll see here it says will modify. So if I hit enter, it will save the note with the new changes that we just added. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to hit enter, and now it's back to viewing. When the status is at viewing and I hit enter, it will disappear. Okay, so now Florida is a big state. So that's another statement, and you can see here it's the same mnemonic from earlier with the same sigil and color matching. And there is the original text put over here, and I'm going to hit enter. And so now it's saved. Okay, let me go to my program here. Okay, so what you're looking at now is the network view, where you can navigate between notes using hotkeys. So you can use Control Q, Control W, Control E, Control A, Control S, and Control D. Likewise, you can also use 1, 2, Control 1, Control 2, Control 3, Control 4, Control 5, Control 6, and that will navigate amongst the different slots. Right now only one's visible, so I'll do that. So I'm going to hit Control Q, and it took me to this slot, and you can see that the note that we had just submitted is a tangential and appears in the first slot. Okay, so if I add more, which is Larry is 25 years old, Larry drives a Mustang, Larry likes tea, Florida is hot, Florida has alligators. Okay, so now if I type in Larry, you can see all Larry notes appear here as tangential notes. So there's 4 Larry notes that are not the one I'm working on now. They're all appearing, so I can navigate to any of them. But if I navigate, this new note submission will be lost. So if I said Larry Pineapple, and I did not hit enter, and I went to this Mustang, you'll see Larry Pineapple is gone. Okay, but what you also see is that it's 2 levels deep. So because this note has Florida, the Florida will appear here. So I'm going to hit Control Q to go here, and if I add a new note, so I'll say Florida is Florida has hurricanes. Not a very nice feature, but it does. Okay, so if I navigate back to my original thing, you'll see that there's actually 7 notes here that can't all fit on screen. So if I hit tab, I can visit the new page. I'm going to hit escape, which is going to allow me to edit. Oh, sorry, it's going to allow me to make a new note. All right. So there is this equal sign, which serves a lot of purposes. So if I said Larry drove through South Carolina to get to Florida, then I hit submit. What you'll notice is that South is now 1 and Carolina is now 1, but that's not really the entities that we want. We really want them to be combined. So I'm going to hit equal sign, and what I call this is a promotion. But you'll see it also serves a different purpose, and the reason why it's an equal sign later. But when I'm going to hit submit here, you'll see it what was 2 statements now has become 1. And this is called an equivalency. So you can see it here, viewing equivalency. So everything with an equal sign in it is an equivalency. And now if I typed in South, nothing shows up. Carolina, nothing shows up. Perfect. So now I can say Larry got a flat tire in South Carolina and decided to get some boba tea. I don't know why he would have time, but excellent. Okay, so Larry remembers his mom always yelled at him and called him Larry Smith. So what you'll notice there is that not only do we want Larry Smith to be a single entity, but we would also like it to be equal to Larry as well. And so that's where the equivalency comes in. So I'm hit escape to make a new note, and I'm going to say equals Larry Smith. I hit submit, and there you go. There we go. So when I'm back here, you can see that they have the same sigil and the same color. And if I typed in Larry Smith, I would also get Larry as well. So this doesn't have a Larry Smith in it, but I'm still having it recommended. So maybe it's a murder mystery, and it's the initials on the gun were LS. Ooh, spooky. Now, if I go back to my Larry equivalency, which is here, and then I said equals LS, you'll see that they are all the same. So, right here. The initials on the gun were LS, which also brings up these that just involve Larry. So those would be aliases or nicknames, that kind of thing. All with the equal sign as its own statement. Okay, now that we have some basics, if I hit Control L, this is the list all feature. So it organizes all of the mnemonics or the sigil color pairs and puts any note involving them below their respective thing in alphabetical order. So there's one with boba, but you'll see here that some of these might be duplicated. So this has boba in it, but also has Larry and it also has South Carolina. So we'll see Larry Smith, and there's that same boba thing, but it's also under the Larry section as well. Same with here. Neat. Okay, there is also, if you need this program to be quickly compatible with other programs, you can do Control-Shift-L, and that will pull up the same list, but in your text editor that you can easily select all, copy out, and then bring it into your Word document. Okay, speaking of Word documents, if I have Novelbase side by side with my Word document, I can easily, so I don't have highlighting available yet, but if I hit Control C, that will copy the full blurb that's on screen. And then you can paste it. Oh, I almost forgot. So when you're in the list phase and you hit enter on one of these elements here, it will pull it up in the networking phase. And it will also go back to that part of the list if it's highlighted. So I can copy elements out of this. You can also copy elements back into this. Selling it for a box of chocolate. So I can copy this, come over here, paste it, and as long as I remove this out of space here, you can see I was able to copy some text from a different place, maybe a word, maybe whatever, and copy it into here. Okay, when you're done with that, maybe you want to work on a different project, you do Control-O to get back to this page where you can rename your project here, Adventures in the Swamp. Or you can also come over here and make a new project. When in Rome. There you go. Or a different project. Shrek 8. The movie. Etc., etc. So I'm navigating this with my arrow keys here. Finally, there's a shortcut which is pretty useful for when you're in the middle of typing out a sentence. So maybe I said, Larry ran into a woman by the name of Shelley P. Sullivan. Okay, so what you'll notice here, just ignore the highlighting for a moment here, but I've surrounded Shelley P. Sullivan in brackets. So normally what you would have to do is if you were writing something out and you just had something come to mind that you would have to make a standalone equivalency statement for, you can place these in square brackets and then hit the enter key. And when it right before it submits the note, it will also submit it as a standalone equivalency as well. So Larry ran into a woman by the name of Shelley P. Sullivan. And then I come over here, I can edit it. Shelley has a friend named Bert Rogers, etc. What's also interesting is since it just submits whatever is in the text as an equivalency, you can also do neat things like this, where, so if I said Birdie was feeling down after his car exploded on him. Okay, so this highlighting here is wrong. Just ignore it. But whatever is in this spot here will be submitted as an equivalency. And it'll actually automatically join up with the previous equivalency. So I'm going to hit enter. And it's going to replace here, Birdie was feeling down after his car exploded on him. So I gave Bert a nickname at the same time that I was writing this sentence. So I don't have to remember after I submit the sentence to go and edit the equivalency. I can do it inline while I'm already in the middle of creating a specific note about him. Okay, finally, their novel-based projects are stored on your hard drive just in plain text. So here's a list of all the notes, and just disregard these top 2 lines, but here are all the notes. And for if you want this to be in your Dropbox or something, you would need, oh wait, is this the extracted? Oh no, this is right. Okay, and that file location is here under novel base. So here is your executable that you can pin to your taskbar or whatever, and in here under novel based projects you can find that same notepad. All right, I think that about wraps it up. If you use novel base, I would love to hear how it goes, if you think it's useful or if you think it's not useful, and I hope it helps you. All right, thank you.